Imported and not supported media file. Deleted it from the timeline. I right-clicked in samples browser to delete unused sample. Right. I don't see why the fact that it was an unsupported media file would be relevant. It could be. So let's just try delete this from the timeline. Delete unused samples. No. Let's try an unsupported file. Delete it from the timeline. Delete unused samples. Okay. No crashing. So let's look at the dump. This one. This bug again. Ah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. So I'm dereferencing a null pointer here. And I get this assertion failure in a log, which seems to be something else. Mm-hmm. Mm. At some point we were hitting this assert and failing. Get no trying info. I don't know if that assertion failure is related to this crash. Could be. We might have like several bugs here. So this onFocus entered event is basically when you have samples in the project. Every time you click one of these, that on focus entered event is happening, or if you press tab or shift tab. That's interesting. Shift tab actually selects instead of just moving back. Because when you hold down shift and click, it's supposed to select multiple. How's that meant to work? Oh, whatever. So he's doing delete unused samples. Oh, I got it. It happened. Oh, I got to this point. So if I continue now, does it crash? Yes. In the same place? Oh, it just crashes here because the iterate is invalid. There might be a difference in release mode. Possibly in the when Blockit is built in release mode, it's not failing when it tries to dereference this iterator for whatever reason. And so it's crashing at a later date. Maybe that's what's going on. Like in release mode, maybe it's getting all the way to here and crashing. Get no drawing info. Let me see. Yeah, it is this on focus entered. Scroll to show node. On focus entered. Why would that happen then? On focus entered. I really hate this the way that this tree list is implemented, by the way. It used to be implemented in an even worse way, and then I refactored it, and it's implemented in a better way, but it's still a bad way. So this is possibly going to be not. Where the fuck did it go? This might not be fun to debug. Or might not be simple, I should say. So I think I don't need to crash dump anymore. I can just reproduce it by adding multiple samples and then going like this. No. Add multiple samples. Select and then right. Right. So you select an item and then delete unused samples. And what happens? Why do we get to this point? No. Update focused item. I guess it makes sense that we get to here at least. Last focused. Let's say focused item. On item focus entered. There's no item being entered. It's a load of shit. Why do we get to here? I have no idea because it's coming from the Godot object event system. Grab focus. I've heard it said that to get like a good implementation of something, you have to write it 3 times. And so far, the sample browser and the block browser and all that stuff on the right hand side of the block interface, it's been written 2 times. I think it needs to be refactored the 3rd time to finally get it right. And it would be a big refactor. Like it would, like one of the big issues with it is the I've written it in such a way to take advantage of the Godot's like automatic control focusing system. So, for example, if I when you click certain items, I get these like little white corners, and that's the visual representation that I use to show that something has focus. And if I press tab, it goes to the next item and then the next item. And a lot of this happens automatically because Godot has this, I think Qt and certain frameworks do the same thing where it will automatically sort of figure out when you press tab, what is the next logical control to jump to. And so I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I should take advantage of that when it comes to writing this browser. And so if you're here, for example, and you press tab, no, not true. I'm telling lies. Oh, if you're in the search box at least, and you press tab, it will jump. No, I'm wrong. There's certain situations where it will jump into the browser. No, I guess not. But anyway, I guess that doesn't happen anymore. But if you have an item in the browser selected, again, you have these. There's a distinction between what has focus and what is selected, because the selection could be one item or it could be multiple items like that. So for the selection, I light things up to show what's selected and what isn't. But for focus, I still use this border, the white corners border, to show what has focus. And that is all still taking advantage of Godot's focus system. So when I press tab, it's sending like a Godot brand event into the Godot engine to say, hey, go to the next logical focus item in the scene tree. It used to be that at some point during development it would actually jump from here to here, but I guess I've changed that because I didn't like it. So now if you're focused in here, it would jump to the first item again. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about all this is in order for that to work, for me to just use the Godot focus system to handle all this stuff. One of the problems with that, there's lots of problems. One of the problems is that I need to actually create a control node for all of these items, no matter how many there are. There could be thousands. I want to be able to support like having thousands of items in a project. And I need to, even if they're not visible, like if you're scrolled to a location where there's a bunch of invisible ones, they still need to exist so that you can focus onto them when you press tab. If they don't exist in the scene tree, then Godot can't handle like when you press tab focusing onto it. It has to actually exist as a node. So that's stupid because it means I can't really implement things in a very efficient way. Like I have this really hacky bullshit now where I have like a pool of these items. I mean, no matter what, I have to create an item for every single item in the project. I have to create a node and have it here, even if it's hidden behind the interface. And if I don't want to do that, then I need to stop using Godot's focusing system and write my own, which would actually be. That's a problem as well because I need to like there's other places within the system where I do a sort of global check to find out if any control currently has focus. And the way I do that now is just to ask Godot, does anything have focus? Because Godot knows, because I'm using the Godot focus system for all focus related things. So if I wrote my own focusing system just for this browser, for these browsers, I'd have to fix that as well, which is not too bad. Anyway, I'm just talking about how I hate this browser implementation and I want to it probably needs a refactor. Anyway. So when I delete unused samples, at some point, all of these nodes are getting deleted. And then Godot's focus system, because it's so jank, see, this is all Godot code, so I can't really look at it. I mean, it's not going to be useful to look at. But then it's like a bunch of notifications, a bunch of signals emitted, and finally we get to here. This tree list item control is the item control. Like I said, I'm adding this back to a pool of items so that they can be reused. It's just an optimization because I might have thousands of items in a project, and I don't want to instantiate them every time. So this items, it's been removed from the browser, but it still technically exists. So it's sort of a deactivated node, but it's still getting this on-focus entered event. I mean, God knows why. I don't know why, because the nodes have been removed. All that's happened is nodes have been removed from their parent. Is that true, or have they just been hidden? I don't know. I guess they've just been hidden. But then, for some reason, Godot is emitting an on-focus entered event when it shouldn't be. As far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be. Maybe there's a good reason why it's doing that, but I don't know. But I'm assuming that this is not going to happen, and it is happening. So this is null on item focused. So is there a way to see? So now I'm getting to here. So this is just... I could add a very hacky sort of... So I can't make head nor tail of this situation. So we're handling this on focus entered event, and we're getting into here. I don't understand any of this code because it's all just a mess. We have this item thing, which is going to be this sample item. Item, on focus entered item. Get item. Right. Right. So we're going get item and then we're returning. So I think when these block controls are retired and hidden, when they're sort of removed from the browser, I think I'm setting an item. I must be... No, what am I doing? How does this work? Item on expired. Oh god, I'm doing this shit. I still have this nonsense going on. So this is happening at some point. So when the sample is deleted, when you click that context menu item, sample gets deleted and then this happens, which sort of deactivates, it's supposed to sort of deactivate this control, which is the item control that appears in the browser. And we're saying get item, and it's going to return that sort of nulled out item control, this one. So I'm going to add a hacky fix here. Which is simply going to be if not item control, there will always be this. And just return. That is a hacky fix to fix just this issue. The correct fix would be to throw away all my block browser code and or the sample browser code and rewrite this everything in a correct way. But that would take a month. So I need to do that eventually anyway. Because there's still, even with all the hacky optimizations that I added for when you have many items, like thousands of items in a project, I had a bunch of like hacky optimizations to make things not slow down too much. Just like when rendering these lists. I don't like all those hacks that I had to add. So one day I'll do it properly. But for now, this should be fine. If I select this, delete, yeah. Undo, redo. Okay, I'm starting to wake up now. I'm 1.5 cups of coffee deep. And they're very large cups. Fix crash on what else? That's everything in this email.